Well, folks, it's that time. It's coming down to the end of the line. It needs to. I don't know about you, but 2025 was a dumpster fire for me. Too many bad things happened this year. We don't know what 2026 is bringing, but I hope it's better things. At least that's what I can hope for and aim for. But yes, dumpster fire. We'll talk about some things tonight. Ask people to tell us what their best thing that happened to them this year and what their worst thing that happened to them this year. Chat is open, so step right up, folks. Let's play nice. I don't want to have to start throwing people out of the room, but hey, we'll see what happens. 2025 is on the way out, man. Good thing about living on the eastern side of the USA is we get to greet the morning and we get to see New Year's before anybody else in America does. I'm not staying up till midnight. I never do. Though the fireworks is already going off in my neighborhood. You might hear some blasts. You'll hear my little space heater. It was very cold today and yesterday. I've gotten soft since I moved down here. I'll turn on the light so everybody can see me. But yeah. Auld Lang Syne, one of my favorite pieces of music. I was listening to a choir, a prestigious choir singing that of all ladies. Very beautiful stuff. But who's going to be the first one to comment tonight? We got any regulars in here? Anybody feeling up to chatting? It's open, folks. It's open. So what was the worst thing that happened to me? There we go. Hello, Stephen. How are you? And happy almost New Year. So what was the worst thing that happened to me this year? I had 3 things happen that sucked. In March, I was tearing up the old fence, cutting down the saplings and trees, small trees along the fence to put up a new fence. And I wanted to get rid of the roots and the stumps and clean up the fence line. There was briars and thorns and poison, sumac and everything. And that was the first of a series of, got a mark here, you can't see it. But I got sumac on me and my arm blew up about that big. I'm not making it up. Well, thank you for that. It's messed up out there, Stephen. It's messed up. Hey, sheepdog, how are you? Mau Mau. Glad to see some people getting online. I hope to deter people from going out and drinking tonight. You got to watch it. There's going to be Checkpoint Charlies and people out there. Hello, Antics. How are you? Tell you, it really is a good idea to stay home. It's not like the good old days where you could go out and you got to watch it. A lot of loonies out there tonight. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but people will die tonight because of DUIs. People will get arrested tonight because of DUIs. People will be stupid tonight. And let's hope nobody tries to do something crazy. Oh, if you remember last year, guy drove his pickup through New Orleans, killing a bunch of people New Year's Eve. Just pray that people keep their minds. Yeah, it's a mess. I'm home and I'm proud of it. I worked my butt off today at work and I worked hard and I'm tired, but I wanted to go live and see everybody. Hello, Paul. This morning, I had 75,000 viewers on my live. Warehouse. I work warehouse, packing and shipping big truck parts. Heavy, 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 heavy stuff. And we get the next couple days off paid, so that's nice. But yeah, it's I was thinking about something today. I texted my friend, husband and wife up in New England, and he was talking about friends he have. They have $1 million homes, and he says, I honestly don't know how they made all that money. He owned a landscaping company, sold it a year ago. He did well, but he said, I never became a millionaire. And I'm going to share something. This is open for your guys' views. I'm all right, Paul, and yeah, let's hope it's better. So, I firmly believe. And then I had a coworker come up to me today. Black guy, and I like him. He's a good worker, and he came back in the back of one of the warehouses and said, you're going to think this is strange, Mike, but I got to say it. People that work as hard as you bother me. He said they bother me because he said, in all the years I've lived down here in the South, I've never seen a guy. He says, you work harder than anybody down here. And he says, I consider myself a good worker, but you are a hard worker. And he said, we don't get rewarded for that. I said, no, we don't. He said, there's so much nepotism down here, favoritism. I said, yep, absolute truth. So, do you really believe that hard work will make you rich? This is what I believe. Agree or disagree? I believe you got to be unethical, illegal, corrupt to make lots and lots of money. Or hit something just right that nobody else thought of. But I think most people that get their big riches, they weren't honest. They were ethical. I think you can work hard and do okay. But the only thing I gain by being a hard worker is a clear conscience before God. That's it. That's absolutely it. Stephen, what do you do for work? Shoot, what does everybody in here do for work? While we're on the work subject, make sure this chat keeps going and it doesn't freeze on us. I've worked all my life. Now, I'm not rich, but it amazes me with a little discipline you can save your money, and if you don't get into debt for a car, for a house, if you don't take out a loan for anything, you will come out farther ahead. You're not paying all that money in interest. And I tell people, the minute you get a loan, you're a slave. Industrial maintenance. Okay. Hey, Rejectioner, how are you? And welcome. Again, I apologize if you hear the space heater in the background. I turned it on. It's going to do this in the kitchen tonight, but it's cool. Wind was blowing pretty steady from the west the last couple days, and it was just bringing icy. We had nearly 80s on the weekend, Saturday, and Sunday dropped down, and Monday really dropped down. Oh, Stephen, that's interesting. I have a pressure washer. Somebody told me I could do good business down here, but that's not always easy. I tell you what, my hat is off to people that go into business for themselves. Hello, Chocolate Beds. How are you? And Happy New Year to you. Welcome. Good to see people streaming in. 75,000 views this morning, folks. I say that because that's a record. Talking about ghost demons and aliens, and read the account of the demoniac in the Bible. That is a record. Could be because people are still off for the vacation, but 75,000 views, that's a lot. I tell everybody, don't ever look down on the work you do. You working? Be proud. It beats sitting around taking handouts. I admit, the thought went through my mind, can you imagine if 75,000 people all donated $1? Can you imagine if each of them donated $2? That's $150,000. Wouldn't it be nice to all of us if we could just make money that easy? Oh my gosh, I wish that I had that problem. Just for a little while, just enough to amass $1 million and call it quits. Boy, the fireworks is going off already. It's not even time. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Fireworks ain't cheap anymore. Oh my gosh. So funny. This morning, several people left comments again saying I have mental issues. I always find that entertaining now because I don't believe I have mental issues. I'm not perfect. I struggle with sin just like everybody else, but oh, it's amazing. The people telling me that I have mental issues, I'm sure they pretty much clearly are mental. I'm not offended at all. That's true. You know, I took a lot of flack for this, Stephen. I took a lot of flack for this. I think it's awesome because I started doing this because I like it. Now, I don't go out in public in some of this getup. I'll go to the flea market when it's warm. I'll wear this. I'll wear some of my girl jewelry. But I think it's important that people see that we're so used to a box. Our culture's so used to everything has to be in a box until they get to me. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny to watch the way people are. There's a psychology that comes out the more I do YouTube. First, the comments offend you, they unnerve you, and then you start to realize these people are projecting. Click on their ID. Most of them don't have a face picture. Most of them don't have a channel. Like, oh yeah, easy to hide behind a keyboard or a monitor or a phone screen. That's the thing. People feel really brave when they're hiding. I put myself out here. You get to see me. I talk about my sins, my struggles, my flaws, my conservative views, my biblical views. And people are just like, why? And I'm not fake and I'm not professional. I don't want to be a professional. I want to be me. Thank you for that, Stephen. Hey, Danny, how are you? And welcome, and you too. That's right, Chuck Basket. I agree with you. But you know, I'm human. Sometimes it's perturbing. Sometimes I poke sport and fun at them back. Hey, Ricky, how are you? Uh-oh, Ricky told me to yawn. Hold on. Oh, Ricky, gotta stop making me yawn. Ah, he comes in the room with that name, and it's over. I got a buddy at the flea market. He sells art. He's married. He started cross-dressing, and I didn't follow in his footsteps. Now he's older than me. He goes all the way with the purse and the high heels, and I'm not doing all that. He even got the little built-out bra thing, and He's had more women come on to him since he started doing that. Hey, Justin, how are you? You hear that all the time? That's funny. But I don't believe that any one of us is going to get rich by just working hard. I think that's a myth. I think today that is very, very, very hard to do. I believe very firmly you've got to know somebody. You've got to have an ace in the hole. That's good, Justin. Hello, Chris Nolly. How are you? Trying to round up the troops. Chris, I have to tell you this. We had 75,000 views this morning on the live. Chat was not open, but that is a record. I was like, I went to sign out. I'm like, 120 subs, 75,000. I'm like, what is going on today? The highest I ever had was, boy, it would have been summer or spring, 40,000 views on a Sunday. But 75, that's a Super Bowl. That is a Super Bowl amount of people. I joked to Mom, I said, man, I wish I got the Super Bowl prizes. Hey, Michelle, how are you? I know, where have you been? Where have you been? You changed your name. I'm looking at your picture. You changed your name, Michelle. Where have you been? Well, thank you, Ricky. Hello, 123. Good to see you. Did you change your ID? I know it was something else. I can't remember what it was. Yep, Michelle loves hens. I've seen her hens on her shorts. Pretty cool. Chickens are so cool. I miss you too. I miss you too. Glad to see people coming in here at the end of the year. Glad you're not all out there roaming around. I don't mean to be negative, but there's just too many people that get stupid. I actually, it's funny, during COVID, they kept saying stay at home, and we're all like, shut up. But now, as I get older, I voluntarily stay at home. I used to go down to the club and shoot pool, and I realized, well, I'm not going to get a date. And they play the music that I don't want to hear. They were playing some good stuff, but now they're catering to the stuff I just don't like. So I'm like, you know what? I go from work straight to the house. And neon colored balls. Now that'd be funny. Glow in the dark pool. I like that. Hot chocolate night. Well, Emmanuel, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm content. I work on my jigsaw puzzle. Oh my gosh, I'm good at the good stuff. I'm almost finished with this book. This guy died, and I'm sad because he had so many good books. He died a few years ago, and it's like, dang, this is my favorite author. Nobody's going to replace him. Nobody. I got a couple more books on the shelf by him that I bought. Look, can you tell I'm into Clive Cussler? There's 1, 2, 3, 2.5 shelves. Good old Clive Cussler, man. I'm not joking around. He's one of my favorite authors. Mr. E-Rock is here, but he's driving the truck. He and his wife going to a get-together at wife's friend's home. So he hears us, but he is driving, so he's not going to be getting on the chat at this point. I didn't check with Mob today. I checked with him this morning. He's the one that said, Mike, do you realize you had a Super Bowl crowd on your live? I said, wow, I didn't even think of that. Is he good? I've heard of him. Is Tom Clancy good? Hey, Zach. Zach, good for you. Balls that light up. That's funny. Would you like to play pool with neon balls? But what do you guys think? I didn't get a direct answer, so I'm gonna force you guys. Do you really believe hard work will make you a millionaire, or is that a myth? Now we have to work. We have to work, and I believe in doing hard, doing my work above and beyond. But do you believe working hard is going to give you all the breaks? I don't believe that. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? What is that, Jacobet? And thank you for saying that. What is it that you were talking about lately? How many people on the live again? 75,000 this morning. I was blown away. 120 subs. I was wearing my little purple satiny top. I'm sure people were going, this guy's reading something out of the Bible about a demon-possessed man and he's wearing a woman's top. Okay, what is this? Hey, truth is truth, man. I'm not a bait and switch. I don't have a motive. I just do what I do. But if people get turned on to the truth, that is a high score. Period. Doggy! That's right, Justin. Corn Pop, I have a little bit of that in me. When I say bisexual, though, I've never had sex with a guy. You know, I've never done anal with a guy or received anal. You know, I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs, but I couldn't date a man. I couldn't fall in love with a man. It's just not. I'm into women. You know, what I mean, though, Jogabed, when I talk about hard work, is when I go to my job, I could pace myself and I could be like everybody else, but I go full bore. Like we get pick tickets. And I want to get all the items pulled. I want them packed up and ready for freight. Even my supervisor says, breathe. I said, I'm breathing, but I got to get this done. I'm driven. I've always been that way. I want the pack table clean by the end of the day. And then I do other things, like cleaning up areas that are a big old mess that have been that way for years. And I love it when the boss, the president, comes in and says, oh my gosh, look at this area. I said, it looks like crap. I had to clean it up. I'm tired of looking at it. Yeah, but rejection, how could I do that at 59 years old? You know, I hate to say this. Physically, as we get older, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing. This is keeping me, fighting. You're not going to see many people my age doing this. Most people retired out, 55, 60. I won't retire at 65. I'm going to work till the day God takes me because that's just the way it is. Unless he blessed me with a windfall Hello, Abdel. How are you? And Happy New Year to you too, and welcome. Yeah, I agree with you, Cheryl. I agree with you on that. Got you, Jochebed. I absolutely. Now, I don't try to keep up with the Joneses. I have personal goals. I do want a military truck again, but the sanity hits me. You know, when you got to replace parts, the stuff ain't cheap. Diesel fuel ain't cheap. I don't like what they're doing to new vehicles today. I don't like all the electronic stuff. You get a check engine light in a vehicle now, you got to get it addressed. The computers govern everything now. I don't like it. I'd rather go to carbureted engines and go back. At least you can work on them. Nope, I understand, Penny. I don't like chasing trends. Yeah, same. Oh, yes. New Year, New Year. That's a good thing. All right. Took the chill off the air. I wanted everybody to see this. Bridge sent me this. I don't know how she's doing. She didn't answer when I sent her Discord, but she did send this a week ago. If I could build a ship in a bottle. This ought to test my patience. I've never done this, but we're going to have to do it. It's very nice, a bridge. We need to continue to pray for Colette. I'm going to make an executive decision. And I know it goes against something. She didn't want me to tell anybody, but it's time I say something. Weeks ago, she had an incident. And somebody messaged me, a week ago? For her on her phone through Discord. Colette was in an induced coma. And before she was induced, she said, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Please pray for me. But the message said she was brought out of the induced coma and things are improving. But she said, please tell Mike I still need prayers. And whoever sent the message to me said, Colette, for some reason, seems to think of you as a special person. You know, it bothers me that things can change so fast. And she needs your prayers, people. And forgive me for saying that. I'll take the fallout if it comes. But I think some of you regulars needed to know. That sucks. Bridge needs prayer because she hasn't gotten back to me. I thanked her for the gift. Whenever I thank her for any gift she sends, she's Johnny on the spot. She was in the hospital before Thanksgiving and said she was spending Thanksgiving Day in the hospital. So pray for Bridge. Pray for Colette. They are struggling. And I don't like to see that. Something happened at her house. She got injured. But, you know, I can't get into all of it, Cheryl, but she's in the hospital, but her friend said she was in an induced coma. And she came out of that to tell her friend to relay to me that there's improvement. And I can't tell you what they found entirely because I'm getting way too personal. But I was shocked, and she needs your prayers. You know, I've disagreed with Colette. I was even a little hard on her, but you know what? She's a good egg, and I respect her. And just like Evander came in here and said, this really is a true community. It really is. And I needed to cut out the chat. I needed to. This is for the health of the channel. I mean, it's New Year's Eve, but when I run chat, we're not going to have 75,000 people watching. We're not going to have 50,000. We're not going to have 10,000. A lot of people have expressed to me that they want to hear my turbochargers go off and get into something. E-Rock as a brother said, I like Michael, but I can't stand it when these chatters derail him and interrupt him, and I can't deal with it. People want content. They want to hear stuff. And so I've tried to balance the two. But I do care about my regulars, absolutely. Hey, David, and thank you, you too. Yeah, Cheryl. And I hope you don't feel I'm violating it. I'm letting you guys know because, you know, she didn't want me to tell everything, and I'm not going to tell everything. But I did want you to know there is some seriousness to this. So I dispensed what I feel I need to and leave it at that. You know what shocks me as I get older is how fast life can change for any of us. What we take granted for today could be gone tomorrow. Hey, Mr. E-Rock, there you are. Yeah, you be safe, brother. Be safe. And it's good to talk to you and Amber this evening. Hey, Grayson, how are you? Hey, it was fun this morning, Grayson. It was fun this morning. I was lighting it up. Thank you for that, Grayson. I appreciate that. Hey, Jamie. Yes, I am. Had to work all these 3 days, but I got tomorrow and Friday off. And this will be the last holidays until Memorial Day weekend. Oh, I got used to those school holidays. Kind of nice. You know, teachers complain they don't make enough money. Do you know how many days they have off? 180. I mean, good grief. They only work half the year. When I worked in transportation, they got non-student contact days, and they got all these Denver. Every month, you had a couple of holidays thrown in for teachers, and then they had here, shoot, they got a fall break in October. They got a week off for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks for Christmas, a week for Easter, and then they got many 5-day weekends interspersed in there. The hardest stretch is after spring break when it's 2 months of no holidays. And I worked year round, but if you want a schedule that works where you don't have to work year round, school one's the best one to have. Hello, B Sweet. How are you? I'm glad I caught your live the other day, B Sweet, but all them barking dogs, I not cool. Sound like a dog kennel gone wild over there. The Band-Aid guy. Who's the Band-Aid guy? Yes, Grayson, how are you? How is Grayson doing? Ah, Michael's not going to make it till midnight. I don't even try anymore. When you get older, the fun's over. I don't want to see the ball drop. I don't care. Anybody watch the ball drop? To me, it's no big deal. So you stay up, Justin, watch the ball drop? Well, thank you, Grayson. This morning, 75,000 views. It's wild, man. Hey, B, I said hi. Did you hear me? You better answer me, girl. Peanuts and popcorn. Yes, 1, 2, 3. I notice as I get older, a year just whizzed by. So, yeah, this year I got poison sumac. That was a big event. That was in March. And then in August, I lost my job for saying it like it is in my home on a video. Nothing to do with work. And in June, Tina, my roommate, who had been a blessing for 15 months, her mom moved out from Greenville, South Carolina, and bought a home, and they moved in together. And that was like a torpedo to the engine room. I got so used to having somebody here. Come home from work, because I'd get off after her before I had the seat job, fixing bus seats, and come home and smell good cooking. It was so nice. But that's cool, Grayson. And I'm glad you have a healthy family. Bless God for that. Shoot. Somebody asked me, Mike, you'll probably live to be 100. Don't wish that on me. I do want God to come in my lifetime. Call me selfish. It's not his will that any should perish, but if God chooses to come in my lifetime, oh yeah, I'm all for it. What a.m. are you in the UK, Luke? It is 8:12 p.m. over here. I'm guessing you are across the pond. Grayson, are you really 21? Wow. To be 21 now, or to know what I know now at 21 would have been an advantage. All right, Abdel, thanks for coming in. You have a good evening. And Happy New Year. Oh man, now that's got to be good stuff if the cat's watching. Now that would be interesting. All the cats start coming up. Strange thing happened when I listened to Michael. The cat's listening, cocks its head. Wow, wow. 21, don't drink. Don't do drugs. And if you do drink, for the love of God, please do not operate a motor vehicle. Don't do it. When I was 21, I'm trying to think. I was 22 in 88, so 87, I was 21. 2 years after I graduated. 87, I started a job at Better Build Aluminum Windows and Doors in Arizona. What is NA? Yeah, Tina moved out. I got sumac and I lost my job and sold my truck because I didn't know what was going to happen. That hurt. But you know what? We're going to heaven. Those of us who are saved, you can't take it with you. We got to learn to hold things lightly. Wow, Jochebed, that's sad. That's sobering. I know in Georgia there'll be checkpoints and people still play that game and get caught. What were the good things about this year? I built an entire new fence. I got to experience owning an M35A2 deuce and a half. It snowed in February here. I remember Tina made a snowman on the upside down bird barrel. It was so cute. She was like a little kid out there. I'm so used to big, 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 deep snowstorms, and she hadn't seen 2 inches in ages, and she was so happy. Sometimes the happiness of another just makes me have a tender. You know, that's cute. She's really getting into the snow. I'm so used to it from years gone by that I don't get the thrill anymore. I'm used to 15 feet of snow in a week, 4 feet overnight, 2 feet the next day. You know, I grew up in the Sierra Nevadas. We got pounded. Now you get a couple inches of snow in the south, and it's a major event. But you know, last year, well, this year, no, February, from New Orleans all the way to Pensacola, Florida, all the way up here, the entire South was under a blanket of white. Yep, guys already acting up. Hey, Grayson, No problem. Oh, Penny, I remember, was it last year or the year before? Canada was just getting blasted. I can't remember the name of some of these towns up there, one right after the other, and the power was going out and they were buried. It was all over Facebook, and I was like, I feel for you guys up there. That's not my sister's dress. It's mine, and it's comfortable. Always stranded. I know you guys were getting blasted. Was it not Camden? What were the names of those towns up there? I can't even remember the name of those towns. Believe it was what? Ontario? They were just getting blasted. That's right, Grayson. I like this. It's comfortable. And no, I don't have panties on. I got underwear and sweatpants. Yeah. I lived in Duluth, Minnesota, Penny. That's as close to Canada as I ever got. Yes, they did. Or they would wear a lot of the toga style. I wish I could find a seamstress to have shirts made like that. People think it's gay. I don't. I think it's very manly. The Romans were ripped. They were no soy boys, I promise you that. I like to combine masculinity with femininity, and people think I'm weird, but it is what it is. I'm not woke. I'm not LGBT. I'm just Michael. That's all it is. Thank you, Penny. I appreciate that. Who's Mrs. Roper? I've heard of that, but I don't know who that is. I like it too. And like I said, I like to feel sensual, sexy. Women's clothes do that. Men's clothes don't make me feel sexy. They never would. Hey, Tennessee, I appreciate that. And that's what I'm after. I'm glad people could come here and get something out of it. And I'm not trying to be rude here, but wait a minute. Why did you hide Penny? Penny's not a problem. Please unblock her, doggy. Penny's never been a problem on this channel. Thank you, doggy. Yeah, Penny's. Thank you. Yeah, what was that an accident? Penny doesn't do anything. Ever. She's always been respectful. I'm saying she. I don't know if it's he or she, but not been a problem. Thank you. I'm sorry, Penny. I'm like, what? Not you. Happy New Year, Barefoot Lynn. She, that's what I thought. Thank you, doggy. I figured it had to be a slip. I'm like, that ain't right. That, you know what? Exactly. Pennies from heaven. Barefoot Lynn, I haven't seen you in a minute. Happy New Year's Eve, Miss Sal. Miss Sal! Mwah. Hello, Daniel, and Happy New Year. It's good to see everybody coming in. 75 on the air. That's good. That's awesome. So everybody telling me, what was your high point of 2025? What was your low point? Let's go. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Because, to me, in some respects, 2025 was a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. We all know 2020 was a dumpster fire. There's no doubt about that. I remember candy cigarettes. We all thinking we're bad, walking around going, hey man, so stupid. At least candy cigarettes won't give you lung cancer, right? No, you can't. They used to have penny candy. Didn't think you had any high points, blind. That's too bad. Popeye cigs.
Kind of gets me my olive oil. Look at little sweet pea.
I used to love Popeye. Great TV. No, I didn't have any high. Well, buying the Deuce temporarily was nice, and getting the fence done. Boy, did I have to pay heck for that. Got sumac trying to cut all the vines and everything out. When I got the fence down and I got all the stumps, I mowed the heck out of all the vines. And then I used Roundup. A little expensive, 15 a gallon, but it does kill that crap. And I hate using Roundup because I do not believe in Monsanto. They are corrupt, but it's the only thing that works. It's the only thing that works. I'm not doing all that vinegar, and that doesn't always do it. Georgia's got some pretty tenacious stuff. I think the chat froze. See if we can get this thing rolling again. Boy, they're shooting off the fireworks now. Fireworks ain't cheap. What does it cost for a box of fireworks now? Anybody know? I know that is not cheap. And some of these guys buy the commercial grade stuff. They got frozen chat here. What's up with that? Actually, it would allow me to type to get it going, but it doesn't work that way. But at least most of you guys are at home and indoors. That's wise. New Year's used to be fun. I remember when I was a kid, we'd go outside and bang on pots and pans and had those little noisemaker toys. Ah, that brat's acting up again. He's been quiet. Now he's acting bad. This is not the night to be fooling around. All right. I think chat is frozen. Did it really freeze? Somebody put a like if I can still be heard. Is audio working? We're at 37 likes. Let's see a like. I'm testing this, trying to find out what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I don't know why it does that. That's a YouTube glitch. Because I got plenty of signal. When this thing starts engaging, it'll go grrr, And then I won't be able to see what everybody typed. Candy cigarettes. Anybody remember them smoking monkeys? Them little plastic yellow monkeys. You put that paper cigarette and you lit it and it'd blow little smoke rings. That was a trip. Smoking monkeys. That's funny. So yeah, until the chat gets working, I like to wear feminine wear because it feels good. And there's more and more men admitting that. Doesn't mean they're gay. Doesn't mean they're transing. I would never trans. I'm happy being a guy. But I just finally said, you know what? What's wrong with admitting you like something? I mean, people say you're a freak, but whatever. I'm not a freak. I'm just different. It's comfortable. I bought this stuff at the flea market for $2 a piece. You can't get a man's shirt for $2. You go to Starvation Army or Goodwill, they get all that stuff given to them for free. And the Goodwill near me is just jacking the price up. It's like, why y'all doing that? You guys get it donated to you. Why are you charging so much? That's pure profit. Thrift stores in Denver used to be a bargain. I used to go Saturdays to Metro ARC. They had DAV, the Disabled Vets thrift store. They had one called Unique. Oh my gosh, was that the best one? I found a lot of cool stuff in there, and they'd have 50% off Saturdays. Yellow, blue, white, orange tags. Sometimes you can find new shirts with the original tags on them. Never worn, brand new, at 50 cents. Of course, that was before COVID. Who knows what it costs out there now? Things have gone up. They've just really rocketed up over the years. What's really sad is you go to the store every week and the prices are going up. Totally going up. Man, that chat has totally frozen. That is just strange. Cannot get that chat to get going. I apologize, guys. Whatever you're chatting, I can't see it. It's stopped at Popeye Sigs 123 penny. Crazy. I turn on chat and YouTube turns it off. I mean, what the heck? It's a glitcheroo. But I keep bringing this up. You got channels out there on YouTube where people are making money. 683,000 subs to make baby noises. Grown adults going, ew. I don't understand that. What is driving that? What is driving that? It's amazing when people throw their money and their life and hearts to. And it does seem to be, not with all, but with a lot of younger people, they don't like good content. They like stuff that's, well, mental trash. I mean, I admit, when I was on Facebook, I would scroll and memes and sometimes dumb stuff, and it's amazing. A whole hour went by and you're just looking at dumb stuff. It's easy to do. I remember dating a college girl years ago in Prescott, Melinda, and she was going to Yavapai College, and their teacher asked them, anybody ever heard of the National Enquirer? She told me somebody in the classroom said, yeah, it's great for reading on the toilet. When I was a kid, National Enquirer was always laughable. Made up stories, completely false. Titanic survivor found floating on the iceberg that sank the Titanic. Really? How'd that happen? 100 years later and she's still alive? That's rich. What'd she eat? Ice? And it never melted? Never flipped over? Crazy. That would be a story. Nobody believe it. Somebody's shooting off a bunch of stuff out there. At least I don't hear guns like I used to. When I first bought this house in 2020, I was laying in bed and bam, bam, bam. Like, okay, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Don't hear it anymore. I think the people that were doing that either got arrested or moved out. Well, I apologize for the chat, everybody. I don't know what's going on with the chat. It's just flat out stopped. And I'd hope to have it open so we could get going on good chat. I have no control over that. Strange. Strange stuff. I don't even know if Steven's still here. We gained a bunch of new ones today. And I find it pleasing to the people like the fact we're talking about intelligent, good stuff. There's a need for that today. Because there's a lot of junk out there. And I don't think I'm God's gift to the earth, but I do believe God can use us as Christians, and I believe He is using me in spite of myself. So don't get discouraged, Christian. Yeah, we sin, we blow it, but God's not done with you yet. He's not done with me. He has a plan. And that's where our worth needs to come from. That's where our worth needs to come from. People talk about being insecure. The greatest fight against insecurity is stop doing those things that don't please God. I know that's easier said than done. But when you walk in the Spirit, I know for a fact I've had confidence. When I walk in the flesh, I don't have confidence. It's really quite simple. And sometimes I walk in the flesh because it feels so good. But here's the rub. I know I'm a child of God because God always yanks you back. Warren Wiersbe, when he was alive, stated it this way. Before you were a Christian, you were in the pig pen of the world. After you became a Christian, God delivered you out of the pig pen. And Warren Wiersbe said, you may make a trip to the pig pen periodically, but you cannot stay there. You're not going to feel comfortable there because you're not of the pigs anymore. I think that's a good way to put it. Fireworks. Well, that is the dangest thing, folks. I do apologize for the chat. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened or why it stalled out. It's got to be a YouTube glitch. I can't imagine YouTube would shut it off. Unless there's so many people on YouTube that it's overloading. I don't know. Do not know. Most people are out having parties tonight. So I think YouTube would kind of have lower views. Strange stuff. But I will say this. It was good to see everybody again, or at least most of you, some of you. Happy almost New Year. Let's all hope for a better 2026. And stay sober, stay safe. If you're going to drink, please get a driver. Don't take the chance. And yeah, 2025 belongs in the dumpster. Till next time, God bless. Take care.